Reckoning DLC 4 for Black Ops 6 Zombies. We're only a few days away from the release of this map, and I thought now that we are getting that close, I'd give you a little wish list of what I want to see on this map. And I think this is really important because this is the final map of Black Ops 6 Zombies, and Black Ops 6 Zombies has kind of been up and down. As someone who actually really likes the game, I can even admit that it had ups and downs, So to me, I think this final map that they're giving us is really going to write in stone what people really think about this game, and that's why it's so important to get this map right. And I think just by giving us these 5 things I'm going to be giving you guys, I think we'll be in a really good place. But as always, I'd love to hear your guys' lists of what you want to see with this map, or comment whatever you want. But since you're down there commenting anyways, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and drop the bell. And with that said, let's get into this wish list. Now, number 1 on my list of what I want to see with Reckoning is that it's just a hardcore style map. Now, let me be clear with what I mean by a hardcore style map. I don't want just like a uber difficult map like Shangri-La or 5 or something like that. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I want a map that is designed around the hardcore players and what we like in zombies. And I think there's good reasons for this. Like, first things first, we look at Black Ops 6. Like, if we don't get the hardcore map with Reckoning, which map is the hardcore map? Like, we just don't have one. We have a casual map with Liberty Falls and the Tomb, but the rest of them are just general maps that are just accessible to both casuals and hardcore players, which is cool. That's fine. That's how most maps should be. But we at least need to have one that's dedicated to us hardcore players. And it makes sense to do that with the final map because, like, who else is sticking around still playing 10 months after the game came out? It's going to be the hardcore players. That's us. We're the ones still sticking around. The casual players are rather not playing more or still playing one of the casual maps. This map in DLC 4 should always be designed for the hardcore audience, and I hope that's what they're doing with the Reckoning. Now, number 2 on this list, and it's kind of the same idea, but this is more specific because with the Reckoning, I want to see a hardcore style Easter egg. And once again, that doesn't mean an uber difficult Easter egg, it's just one dedicated to the hardcore audience. And much of what I said in the previous section completely applies to this once again. The only difference is that if we think about the Easter eggs we've had so far, is that once again, we've had the casual Easter egg and we had the general Easter eggs, ones that are based off the Horizon Rocket and Ancient Evil. We've had a lot of those that are generally accessible. We've had nothing for us hardcore players. We don't have a Shadows of Evil style Easter egg, a Origin style Easter egg, or even a Black Ops 4 style Easter egg. I mean, you don't need to go Black Ops 4 crazy with this map, but you just want to have something that's in depth there, something that feels like we have to learn, something that isn't easy to master, something that I don't feel like is a breeze after the first 3 times I play it and I feel like I've already mastered it. Like, that's not what I want out of this map. I want a map that's going to challenge me both gameplay wise and mentally. That's what I want to see out of this Easter egg, and that's what I really hope they aim to do with this map, because it just feels like it's time for it. It's been so long since we've had both a hardcore style map and a hardcore style Easter egg. I'd argue the last time we've had one has to be all the way back in Black Ops 4, in a game that came out in 2018. It's time, Treyarch. Do it with the Reckoning. Now, with number 3, this is something that Treyarch is normally really weak at, but this has to do with rewards. And I'm not talking about like rewards for doing the Easter egg, I'm talking about rewards for completing all the Easter eggs. Because Treyarch has done this before. They first did it in Black Ops 3, and our rewards was spawning in with an RK5, which was like, whatever, okay, it wasn't anything crazy. And then Cold War comes around, and then we spawn in with a purple rarity instead of, you know, a gray rarity, which was nice for sure, but like, they're always just so uninspiring, to say the very least. And I really hope Treyarch just finally learns how to make good rewards. And when I say that, I don't want them to be uber broken like what we saw in Infinite Warfare Zombies and Director's Cut, because, like, don't get me wrong, like, that Director's Cut was fun at the time, and I do love it so much and have so much fond memories of it, but I don't think, especially with the game with Black Ops 6, needs that broken of rewards. And I think if they just toned it down and gave us convenient rewards, I think that'd be really good. I'm not going to go too much into depth of what I think they should do, but for quick examples, what I think would be a great thing is that you have better chances at getting higher rarities and better guns out of the box, and more importantly, every gun you get out of the box is already Pack-Punch Tier 1. That would make the box way more useful, a problem this game has already had. Or maybe another one, maybe Pack-Punch isn't as expensive. That would be a great thing for this game. I think that would be an amazing reward for this game, because especially how expensive Pack-Punch could get in this game. And same thing with the perks. perks. When you start buying too many perks, it gets way too expensive. But if they just don't get as expensive as fast, I think that would be another great reward. Just stuff like that. It doesn't have to break the game. It just has to make it worth it. And things that make the game more convenient will definitely be rewards everyone will absolutely love. Now, kind of sticky on that same idea, but kind of moving on, is the super Easter egg. Now, we don't know for sure if there's going to be a super Easter egg in this game. I mean, Kevin Drew, the head of Zombies, has said that he wanted to do one with this game, but that was way before launch. We don't know how it's happened. But assuming there is a super Easter egg, I think that this is a chance that Treyarch finally has to one-up what they did in Infinite Warfare Zombies. Because in that game, we had the super Easter egg boss fight. And I mean, that's all it really was. Because to unlock that super Easter egg boss fight, you just had to redo the same Easter eggs except with Director's Cut, which was just an easier way to do the Easter eggs, right? But I always thought, like, that's not really a super Easter egg. That's just a super Easter egg boss fight. There's not any extra Easter egg steps. So to me, I think it would be really cool if they actually made a super Easter egg where after you complete Reckoning, now you go back to all the different maps and there's new Easter egg steps that you have to do on map to map, and they all collect into one final ending and super Easter egg in its boss fight that we play in this map. I think that would be so freaking cool and actually one up what they did in Infinite Warfare. But I'm not holding my breath on that one because I don't even know if there's going to be one. But my gosh, does that not sound so freaking cool? And this brings us to number 5 and the final one that I'm going to talk about in this one. And this one is going to go and keep kind of vague, but what it is that I just want a good ending to the story of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Because I would argue after Shattered Veil, the Dark Ether storyline is in a better place than it's ever been before. It's never had this much popularity, and that might just be because, you know, Richtofen's back, and if that's the case, whatever. But if it's not the case, maybe they're just being better at telling a story. But regardless of what it is, this is your chance to really make people remember this map, and especially the story of Black Ops 6, a story that has not been entirely strong throughout most of it. And I think that they have all of the tools available to them to actually give us a good ending. And I'm not going to tell Treyarch how to tell their stories, even though I do have some things in my head that I'd like to see, but I'm not going to say that. But just think of the tools that they have to actually make this story great. There's a lot of things that they're building up to this. We have the Sentinel artifact and the SAM AI. We have Panos and whatever that Dark Ether entity he's talking to is. We have the Forsaken orb that we just recently learned is in Janus Towers. There's still Richtofen floating around. We don't even know if we could really trust him. Samantha Maxis, she's still in the Dark Ether. Will she finally make her way back? And then same thing with Richtofen's son, Eddie. He's believed to be in the Dark Ether. Is he going to make some appearance, or what's really going on with him? There's so many tools there available to Treyarch for them to do a lot of really good things for this story. And I really hope they take advantage of them, because I think that this is the first time that we could actually be wowed by the Dark Ether storyline. But that's going to wrap it up for me. And as always, like I said at the start of the video, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on anything in this video, your own list, something maybe on what I said you want to expand on or critique, anything like that. I always love reading and replying to comments. I almost read every single comment that's ever on my channel. So if you comment, there's an 80% chance I'm going to at least read it, even if I don't reply. But regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as we get closer to the launch of the Reckoning.